let's talk about import range today, a really cool Google Sheets function for pulling data from one place to another. So import range is especially commonly used between files. You can use it within a file, but often you can use other things within a file too to just move data over from one sheet to another. But import range is a really cool tool for importing data from one Google Sheet file into another. So you see what the formula looks like here. And you can see here what you do is you put in a spreadsheet URL, which is the URL of the other sheet, the source sheet where you want to pull the data from, and then just a range of which range you want to pull from that sheet. So as you can see here, so here's the function we have right there. See the import range function. And it's super cool. So we talked about how you don't want to repeat yourself and you don't want to have single sources of truth for data. You don't want to have the same data in multiple places unless it's all pointing to the original place, so that if you change the data with this source, it changes it everywhere. The more you start having data in different places that isn't linked like that, the more you're going to have old data and mistakes and other problems. So import range works really well for having one source of data in one place, but then moving that around to other places as you need it. So here you go, pretty simple formula, import range. Here's the URL of the file we're importing from. And we're importing from the import range source sheet and cell A6 to G20. And that's actually it. And this is that. This is A6 to G20 from that file. And we can even take a look at that file. We can just copy this, put it into the bar. And this is where we're pulling from. The import range source, the import range sheet. And that was it. I just click there. I hold Shift Option and then start tapping right, because that will jump me to different pieces. You see, instead of like pressing arrow right over and over and over and over, I can just hold Option and type, and it'll keep jumping to basically a break in the data. I get to there, Command C, then Command T for new tab, Command V to paste, and that's how I open that. So that's it. Import range is pretty cool. Just a way to move the data from one place to another. And if I change it here, right, if I added something here, if I change this to 100, it'll change it here too in just a second. There it is. So I'll never have this data out of sync. It will always be the same data in both places. And if I want to do things or use this as a view, I can do that, but I only change here. This is the source of truth for this data. This is the data that actually will be what I change. And no matter where I use this data, it will always be here. I can move it to here, and I can move it to other places, but this will be the source of truth for this data.